Hi, I'm Prostate and I'm the founder of Prostate, a charity formed specifically to enable more men to access minimally invasive treatments for their prostate cancer. I myself had prostate cancer in 2018. I went to my local hospital following the diagnosis and was offered the same treatments that men with advanced cancers would be given, despite the fact that mine was an intermediate grade prostate cancer. These were basically radiotherapy for 5 days a week for 5 weeks, preceded by brachytherapy, which implants small radioactive beads into the prostate itself. Or alternatively, I could have a surgical procedure called a prostatectomy, where a robot removes the prostate completely. I was aware that the side effects on both of these were quite considerable. The likelihood is that I would have had incontinence, probably permanent incontinence, and certainly erectile dysfunction. I was familiar with focal therapies prior to this meeting and mentioned them. I was told that they were flaky, they weren't available on the NHS, they were only on trial, and they certainly weren't suited to my cancer. Fortunately, I didn't take this on face value. I tracked down Professor Hashim Ahmed at Imperial College Hospital in London. He's one of the UK's leads on focal therapies for prostate cancer. He was perfectly happy that my cancer was suited to focal therapy. He took me on as a case. I went in June of 2018 as a day case, one and a half to 2 hours in surgery, and left with a catheter fitted. After a week, that was removed and I got on with my life. None of the side effects that I would have experienced with the more traditional routes were there. I was cleared. So I got talking to Professor Ahmed and was intrigued to find that thousands of men a year could have focal therapy, 12,000 at least. So we talked about how we could create better awareness. I'd spent 25 years in the charity sector, working on a variety of projects. So we thought that perhaps to set up a charity to create this awareness would be the best first move. This was done in 2019, and in April 2020 we were due to launch with the first awareness campaign. Unfortunately, the pandemic got in the way, but this probably wasn't a bad thing, because if we'd gone off with just an awareness campaign, as there are only 2 units offering focal therapy in London and 1 in the south of the country, the demand would have outstripped the availability by far. So during the pandemic period, we spent time managing to get men into Imperial College for focal therapy, about 50 or 60 in total, and rethought the campaign. The new campaign, which will be called 1 in 8, will be launched in April of 2022 and has a double prong basically. It's going to get awareness out there to as many men as possible to ask about focal therapies when you have your first diagnosis, and also to raise funds to buy, donate and deploy focal therapy suites into strategic hospitals across the UK, enabling thousands more men each and every year to access focal therapy, just as I did. So, what is the 1 in 8 campaign? 1 in 8 reflects the 1 in 8 men in the UK who will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. To put numbers on that, that's about 500,000 men in the next 10 years alone, 500,000 men, so considerable numbers. When you consider that a third to a half of those could benefit from focal therapy if their cancer is caught early enough, the campaign is very worthwhile indeed. How we intend to work 1 in 8 is that we want to raise awareness first and foremost of the fact that focal therapies exist, but also to raise funds to buy and deploy focal therapy units into strategic NHS hospitals across the UK. The way we intend to do this is a very simple ask. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. There are roughly 24 million men, adult men, in the UK right now. So we're asking 1 in 8 of those 24 million men, just 1 in 8, to donate £1. That's just £1 from 1 in 8 men. With that, we can raise about £3 million, which would enable us to fund 6 or more focal therapy suites into NHS hospitals across the country. That will enable thousands more men each and every year to have the same outcome from their prostate cancer that I've been fortunate enough to have. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you found that useful. If you would like to know anything more about prostate cancer, or in particular focal therapies, visit our website at prostate.org.uk, or you can also visit the Prostate Matters website at prostatematters.co.uk. Before you go, it'd be very good if you could just click the donate link, which is here, and donate at least £1 to our 1 in 8 campaign to enable thousands more men each and every year to access better treatments for their prostate cancer. Thank you once again.